Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the King Island Ordinary Council meeting for the month of November 2025. For the record, today's date is Tuesday, the 25th of November 2025. I call the meeting to order and declare the meeting open at 4:01 p.m. Usual housekeeping, if you can please make sure that your mobile phones are turned off or put on silent so that we're not interrupted during the course of the meeting. Thank you. Item 1, as always, is qualified advice. Pursuant to Section 65 of the Local Government Act of the State of Tasmania, 1993, qualified advice has been received to prepare this afternoon's agenda. Over to, on page 7, the newly required opening statement. As chair of this council meeting, I notify all that an audio-visual recording is being made of this meeting. All persons attending the meeting are to be respectful of and considerate towards other persons attending the meeting. And language and conduct at the meeting that could be perceived as offensive, defamatory or threatening to a person attending the meeting or listening to the recording is not acceptable. Over to item 2 on page 8. Item 2, attendance and apologies. I welcome all councillors and staff in attendance this afternoon. Just confirming our councillor quorum numbers with Councillor Green and Councillor Laidler away on a leave of absence. Taking those two absences into consideration and with everybody else here accounted for tonight, we are 7 of 9 councillors. So we certainly have our required quorum numbers and we are good to crack on and transact council business. King Island Council staff are here as required. We've done our communications checks with Malcolm and already solved the workaround. Well done, team. There's no other communications checks we need to do. Are there any staff apologies that we need to be aware of?
Yes, Mayor, we have Chris Newton and Nanda both absent today.
All right, we'll take that into consideration later on when we cover their respective reports. Media attendance, as just mentioned before, proceedings are being recorded and media are in attendance. Public attendance, on behalf of King Island Council, I welcome all interested constituents that are here today in our gallery and those who will listen to the recording afterwards. For the opening statement, would everyone please stand? Councillors, to begin this meeting, I ask you to stand in silence to pray or reflect on our responsibilities to the people of King Island. We begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, and we pay our respects to their elders past and present. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. Thank you. Please resume your seats. Always like to give a shout out to new council staff. We have only one new council staff member this month, so I welcome Shelby Alexander to the King Island Council family. Shelby is our new front desk customer service officer. Shelby has had a baptism of fire, hasn't she? So Shelby, welcome to the council team and great to have you working with us. All right, tribute to the hub. It is a historic and auspicious occasion tonight as we conduct our first ever official council meeting in our impressive new hub facility. Certainly a welcome and exciting change of scenery for the council as we take our show on the road, so to speak, and very comfortable environment for our public to attend in greater numbers. In doing all of this, we promote this incredible new hub facility and encourage all to use it, locals and visitors alike. During the official hub opening back in July, I used the Field of Dreams movie analogy for the hub. If you build it, people will come. This new hub is indeed very impressive and it is built strong. However, this hub facility is really just an elaborate new vehicle for human relationships to flourish. In here recently, we've seen the Chamber of Commerce launches, we've seen the Governor's Civic Reception last week, Beef Day, reunions, community functions, and a couple of rousing tourism promotions, just to name a few. Any event that happens in here where new friendships are forged or old relationships are rekindled, that's what it's all about. That's why we build such facilities. Whatever events take place in here, large or small, basking in the amazing view through these windows behind me, albeit we have the blinds closed at the moment, we'll be looking out over our Field of Dreams. Well, we built it and they have come. Visitor numbers have been very strong over recent months. Here are the recent hub visitor numbers that the hub team have just given me. August, we had 422 visitors in the hub. September, we had 700. Whatever events take place in here, large or small, basking in the amazing view through these windows behind me, albeit we have the blinds closed at the moment, we'll be looking out over our Field of Dreams. Well, we built it and they have come. Visitor numbers have been very strong over recent months. Here are the recent hub visitor numbers that the hub team have just given me. August, we had 422 visitors in the hub. September, we had 702 visitors here in the hub. And in October, we had 964 visitors here in the hub. And November so far is looking to exceed all of those numbers so far. So that's very impressive. As Mayor and on behalf of all King Islanders, I again express our sincere gratitude to the Tasmanian State Government for the original hub feasibility study to get this off the ground, but mostly the federal government for the $5 million grant funding investment in King Island to build this new hub and also upgrade a few other council community facilities. Again, the proven partnerships of councils, state and federal governments working together really delivers for our constituents. I must acknowledge our great partners, the King Island Regional Development Organisation, the CURDO as we know them, and the Chamber of Commerce team for the daily running of this hub facility, for visitor information and other community resources that they now provide from the hub here. To all of our ratepayers and local constituents who have come here to the hub in good numbers tonight to attend our November 2025 Ordinary Council meeting, I say to you, welcome. We're your council. We work for you and we serve you. It is always your prerogative to attend council meetings, kick our tyres and make sure we are representing you properly. This is Democracy Manifest and we are certainly not perfect, but as a small, isolated country council, I think we get most things right. Our historic 118-year-old council punches above its weight as a local government jurisdiction and we serve you to the best of our ability. All right, we'll move on to item 3, which is presentations. There are nil this afternoon. Item 4 is contributions to the community. Again, very, very exciting this afternoon, and we have 2 to celebrate. The first one that I will read the citation and put it on the public record is the King Island Race Club. And Audrey Hamer is here this afternoon. Audrey, great to have you here with us here at the council meeting. Let me read the citation and we can take stock of incredible history of what the King Island Racing Club has done for King Island, and we certainly haven't given up on them yet. The annual King Island horse racing season is a cornerstone of the island's community life and local economy. Each summer, the event draws visitors from across Tasmania and mainland Australia, creating valuable economic activity for local businesses, especially when honest Howie, the bookmaker, cleans me out every time, or so it seems. Accommodation providers, hospitality venues, it provides a vibrant social focus for residents and visitors alike, strengthens community spirit and creates a fantastic sporting backdrop underpinning the unique character and hospitality of King Island. The success of the racing season is due in large part to the dedication and tireless effort of the King Island Racing Club Committee and all of its volunteers, and we know there are many. Their commitment, planning and hands-on work ensure the smooth running of races each year, year after year, often under challenging circumstances, especially with having to fly in jockeys and stewards and other logistics of that nature. The committee's ongoing efforts have preserved an important local tradition and maintained a key attraction for visitors. It is therefore deeply felt across the community that the races are not going ahead this year. The absence of this event highlights just how significant the racing season is, not only as an economic driver, but as a source of pride, connection and shared celebration for the people of King Island. We acknowledge the incredible amount of time and passion that the Race Club Committee put into endeavouring to keep this incredible horse racing carnival going, and we wish them all the best in the future. We certainly haven't given up on you, and we sincerely hope racing returns to King Island in the future. I'd like to invite Audrey Hamer up behind me. Audrey, if you'll come around that way. And I'll congratulate Audrey Hamer on behalf of the council and pass on our compliments to the whole race club team. And we'll give you a challenge coin, Audrey, and a letter of congratulations. So, and we'll get
Thank you very much, Mr. Marcus Bucky, Mayor, and the King Island Council Committee. Thank you for inviting me this afternoon. Very short notice, so I don't have anything prepared. But it is very, very sad for King Island. The day that we made the decision back at the end of August, I actually had an anxiety attack that night, during the night. Could hardly work the next day because of... thank you very much, Mr. Marcus Bucky, Mayor, and the King Island Council Committee. Thank you for inviting me this afternoon. Very short notice, so I don't have anything prepared. But it is very, very sad for King Island. The day that we made the decision back at the end of August, I actually had an anxiety attack that night, during the night. Could hardly work the next day because I thought, my goodness, what's happened after nearly 135 years of racing on King Island. But we had to make the decision. We need 30 horses to keep King Island racing going. That we're under the wing of Tas Racing, so we have to go what they say. It's not just the King Island Committee's a race club committee's decision or my decision. So we have to have 30 and we had to have a minimum of 4 meetings for the season. So so it was very sad we had to make that decision. We only had 18 horses in the end. We had a couple last minute at the meeting where we've said we were going to make the decision, saying yes, I'm going to bring 7 horses, another one was going to bring 8 horses. It still wouldn't have been enough, and it was sort of only hearsay. So, like King Island, its economy will be down well over $1 million this season. Not just the dollar figure of the economy, it's, people love, what are we going to do on, for 7 days of the year now? And others are saying, they're missing getting up early in the morning, getting up with the birds to go and train the horses. So, and it's just like Marcus said in the piece of paper, the flow-on effect, it's Australia-wide. Like, we have so many people that, because I try and go around and talk to the people on the day, where are you from, how come you're here? It's just heard about King Island racing, and it's so unique. We have the gallops and the paces on the same day, on the same track, so it's very unique in Australia. And they tied in with their golf, or some come here for golf, find out the races are on, change their plans with the golf, play the local course in the morning, and then go to the races in the afternoon. So, it's just a big snowball effect. The kids love it. It's just a lovely atmosphere, and so it will be missed this year, but we want to try again for next season. But we really do need more off-island trainers. We need some more younger people to come in and give us more of a hand. But to be able to accommodate more people from off-island, we need more infrastructure out the back of the racecourse for people to facilitate, having their horses and can use the racecourse facilities. I mean, Rod and Val have been excellent the last 3 or 4 years, having, first we had Chris Diblock come over with 8 horses, and then we had Bill Hayes for the past 2 seasons, and they brought 8 horses. And they camped at Rod's place. Oh, Chris Diblock stayed with Aileen Hyde, which was very close. But Bill and his crew, they camped there. Like, there was 3 girls in a little teepee, like all of summer for the 3 months. They absolutely loved it. They set up a shower in the wash bay at Rod's, had a tarp, and then the next year they made a shower out of IBCs. But they loved that. And but you're not going to get everybody that's going to want to live like that. So. And Rod can't have everybody out there. There's not enough room for all the horses. So we really need the council and the community to get on board to help us. We don't have to have stables as long as we've got paddocks to paddock the horses for off-island people. And I don't know, the locals still would like to have the 7 meetings, but the reason we cut it back to the 4, because we wouldn't have had enough, but we thought we might for 4 instead of 7. But then the local trainers pulled out because they didn't want to, which I totally understand, train the horses for 3 months at the cost of training horses on King Island, and then only have 4 chances to win. So it's just not viable to do that. The cost of freight, the cost of feed, everything has gone up so much, especially this season. It's the snowball effect on everything, everyone blames COVID, but we really do, it's everyone's just putting on that extra $1 or 10 for everything, and it's just not viable. So if we could get enough trainers to commit off island, Tasmania or Victoria, organise a boat to come over here, say 2 weeks at least beforehand, house the horses here, and still maybe have the 7 meetings, if not 6, and they stay here, but they'll need accommodation and for themselves as well, but use the racecourse facilities and just have the general vibe. I mean, Rod and Val, they went up to Birdsville with a lot of other King Islanders. I think there was 25. They did a lot of race courses, and what they've told, the feedback that they've had, the councils, the whole community, everyone's getting on board to get behind this race club to make it happen. And unless more King Island people get behind us, and especially the council would need to, to help us with this. Tas Racing are on board to help us. Like, they offered a few years ago to build paddocks out the back of the racecourse, but the work supervisor at the time didn't agree, so it didn't go ahead, and they were going to pay for everything. And I had volunteers organised to build all the paddocks, out the back of the racecourse there, because there's plenty of land there, and a lot of it's just been overgrown by bush. It's a waste of good land that we could utilise for things like this. Like, it will be a big hole in the community this summer, and it's not my fault, but I sort of feel responsible, and that's why. It took me a while to get over it. Like, initially I thought I was okay, and then I wasn't, and then just, there's still people talking about it all the time. And, if only, yeah.
Audrey, as President of the Racing Club, congratulations on the amazing history of the club, all you've done so far. As I said, we haven't given up on you. We'll support you as a council Hopefully you'll rebound next year bigger and better than ever, and we look forward to it. Please pass on our compliments
Oh, thank
to
you
your
very
whole
much.
racing club team.
Thank you.
And
Yes,
thank you very much.
If it wasn't for all the local trainers that have kept it going, we wouldn't have been here, you know, like, it was
Absolutely.
amazing, yeah. Thank you very much for having me. If only, yeah.
Audrey, as president of the racing club, congratulations on the
Thank you so
amazing
much.
history of the club,
Thank you.
all you've
Yes,
done
it
so
is.
far.
Thank
As I
you.
said, we haven't given up on you. We'll support you as a council. Hopefully you'll rebound next year bigger and better than ever, and we look forward to it. Please pass on our compliments
Oh, thank
to
you
your
very
whole
much.
racing club team.
Thank you.
And
Yes,
thank you very much.
If it wasn't for all the local trainers that have kept it going, we wouldn't have been here, you know, like, it was
Absolutely.
amazing, yeah. Thank you very much for having me.
If I could just add
Yes.
one little bit.
that's right.
Audrey, you've given all the thanks to your committee, which I know is well deserved, but you've kindly invited me to several of your meetings during this year when you've been trying to breathe some life back into the club. I've witnessed the effort you've put into keeping the club going, and I understand your disappointment, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that would have given up months and years before you did, and the effort you put in is absolutely phenomenal, and I really do hope that we can help you as a council and to get the club up and going again. So Audrey, please accept our thanks as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Well said, Councillor Elmer, thank you. Right, our second to go on the public record today, to go on the public record today, our second community contribution or acknowledgement of community contributions is another local legend, Rod McGarvey. Rod, sir, if you want to come up, or you make your way, I'll read your citation, then you can come up, sir. But, and Val, nice to see Val, you're here as well, giving Rod moral support. Outstanding. Rod McGarvey essentially is being acknowledged today for his contribution mostly to the Lions Club, but Rod does plenty else, as we know. Rod's also been a previous King Islander of the Year. But we're acknowledging him today in particular because he recently received the Melvin Jones Fellowship Award, which is the highest accolade in the Lions Club International. And that's a heck of an achievement for any Lion to receive, especially someone from a place like King Island. So Rod McGarvey joined the Lions Club back in '95, sponsored by Dick Strickland back in the day. And from the very beginning, Rod has lived up to their motto, "We serve," not only through words alone, but also through his consistent hands-on contributions and commitments. Whether he's firing up the barbie or stepping in quietly to lend a hand, Rod will help where he can. No fanfare, just reliable support. Over the years, he's contributed to a wide range of meaningful projects that have shaped the community, including all those Lions projects that are mentioned there. I won't go over them. And as was mentioned by Audrey a minute ago too, you've been a strong contributor to the racing industry here on the island and the racing season, which is great to hear as well. Rod's taken on many leadership roles, has been president of the local Lions Club here a few times, might even end up president again in the near future, we'll see. His calm presence and dedication to the community wellbeing have made him an invaluable part of the Lions team and a hugely valuable member of the King Island community. So thank you, Rod, for your years of dedication and compassion. Congratulations on your receipt of the Melvin Jones Fellowship Award for the Lions International. And we also acknowledge that Rod has had many, many decades as well, piling in as a volunteer in our volunteer fire brigade and has done lots of work on that front. So, Rod, now's the time for you to come forward, sir. I've recently given Rod one of our new coins. So, Rod, I'll just give you the letter of appreciation today. But on behalf of the council, we're proud of you, sir. Keep up the good work. We salute you, and please accept that. And over to you to say a few words.
Well,
So, Rod, I'll just give you the letter of appreciation today. But on behalf of the council, we're proud of you, sir. Keep up the good work. We salute you, and please accept that. And over to you to say a few words.
well, it is very, very humbling, first of all, from the Lions' point of view, to receive the Melvin Jones Award. Like all awards, I guess, they're really more reflective of the club that you belong to. And, that support you get, you might be giving them support, but they're giving you support too. And of course, in all of this, the support from home in Val, that's been extraordinary all the way along the line. I've got to say that King Island has been very, very kind to me over many, many years, which does make it so much easier to do things for the island. It's in my opinion, we are truly blessed to be able to live and work here. And I've been fortunate enough especially in my younger years, to see a lot more of Australia, worked in a lot more of Australia, and King Island is a really, really good place to work. It truly is. We do have our some little problems, but in my opinion, they're vastly outweighed by the benefits. So once again, thank you so much for this. It truly is very humbling, and probably while I've got to with Audrey, we really do need to congratulate Audrey on the amount of work she has done to keep the race club going. I in the past have been in that position that she's in, and I know I would have absolutely no chance of doing the amount of work she's done. It truly is. And as Audrey has said, for the race club, the races to keep going, it has to be supported by all of the community, the council, obviously Tas Racing, tourism, and probably first and foremost our shipping side with the government. To get that to work, to bring horses in with outside trainers, we need to be able to be sure that the horses can be here within a week to 10 days before the races, and equally as sure that they can get off the island within that week or so. Anyway, thank you very much.
Congratulations, sir. Thank you, Rod, Val, and Audrey. You're welcome to stay for the entirety of the council meeting. Well, we understand if you want to get out of here while the getting's good. All right, we'll move on now to item 5, public question time or public questions. Thank you, Rod, Val, and Audrey. You're welcome to stay for the entirety of the council meeting. Well, we understand if you want to get out of here while the getting's good. All right, we'll move on now to item 5, public question time or public questions. In accordance with what is an acceptable question, which is laid out below, if a constituent in our gallery wishes to ask the council a question or questions without notice, we'll allow a minimum of 15 minutes public question time. Does any member of the public in our gallery have a question without notice for the council? Okay. And again, just a reminder to not only those here, but those who will listen to the recording afterwards, you are always welcome to attend our council meetings, kicking off the third Tuesday of each month, typically at 4 p.m. Attend our council meetings, and you are welcome to come in and ask the council a question without notice. Great if you can have it for us in writing so that we're prepared, and if we have to take it away on notice, we don't miss any important detail. But I encourage you to, by all means, come in and ask council questions. We'll do our best to answer it on the spot, but if we have to go away and pull titles and check things and check ones and zeros and whatever else, we'll take it on notice, but we'll try and answer it on the day if we're able to. All right, so there being no public questions, we'll move on to item 6, declaration of interest. So, are there any declaration of interest for the ordinary agenda from councillors tonight? No? Good. Item 7 is questions without notice by a councillor. Does any councillor have a question or questions without notice? Okay, thank you. We'll move on to item 8, notices of motion. There are nil notices of motion for this month. Item 9, confirmation of the previous minutes. Our last ordinary council meeting was last month on the 21st of October. Those minutes have been produced as well as the recording that's been up and available on YouTube for a while. They've been distroed. If councillors are satisfied, would somebody like to move receipt of those minutes? Councillor Iracook, thank you, has moved. Councillor Healy, happy to second. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. All right, across the page to item 10.1 is the Mayor's Diary for October. And indeed, I'm indeed the council officer responsible for my diary. But given the time that's elapsed and stuff I've briefed you on recently, there's nothing I wish to plug or highlight. So maybe we'll go in and get a mover and seconder, and then we can go into any fine detail after that. So would somebody like to move receipt of my diary? The Deputy Mayor has moved. A seconder? Councillor Iracook has seconded. Thank you. Discussions or questions from any item there is welcome. I tried to keep it to a page again, but there you go, it spilled over on 2 pages. So, Councillor Iracook.
Yeah, around 24th of October, visit to the hub to check current condition. Could the Mayor please tell us how the unfinished works are coming along, the drainage out the side, the downpipes, and... Yeah, around 24th of October, visit to the hub to check current condition. Could the Mayor please tell us how the unfinished works are coming along, the drainage out the side, the downpipes, and maybe signage?
Thanks, Councillor Iracook. Thanks, Councillor Ira. Yes, so on the 24th of October, myself and the GM, we came up because we'd heard about the great visitor numbers and we wanted to come up and check it for ourselves, and we were very pleasantly surprised with the numbers that were reported to us then. And also we were just interested in how warranty and latent defects and other things that we're working with the builder is going, and how those issues are progressing. So through you, GM, to the DGM, or if you want to take it on notice.
I'm just looking over it. Jess,
I think
I'm just looking over it.
Yeah.
Jess, just see if she's got an update. to
so
provide.
we do have a defects list for this building, as is to be expected with any new build. There are things that kind of show up over the teething period of time. So we do have a list of defects for the building, and we are working through those with the project group and the builders to get those rectified as soon as possible. But the building is it has occupancy. We're all happy to be here, and it's getting a lot of use. So just those niggly things to work through, but it's here and it's beautiful. It's getting a lot of use.
As with any new build of anything, there's always warranty issues, there's always latent defects that need to be picked up, and there's always things that need to be cycled in, which sometimes need replacement or refurbishment or whatever else. So we'll be working through those for the next, whatever the warranty period is.
Yeah, and through you, Mayor, there also was the practical completion received on the buildings was substantial completion, so there was still a couple of outstanding items when we received practical completion, which is also a standard practice, and resolving
And
those.
the visitation numbers and the nature of the function. And the visitation numbers and the nature of the functions we've had here so far have given the facility a good test as well, and highlighted a few other shortcomings to us that we need to fix, like studio lights and a few other things we need for presentations and other stuff, which will work to continue to improve the facility to bring out its full potential. Councillor Healy, to you.
Yes, just following on from Councillor Cook's comments, signage and completion of landscaping, have we got a bit of a time frame on that or not?
Sort of. So the landscaping is in hand. The team is doing that, and it's just taking its time to grow and all that kind of stuff. We do have a grant for interpretive signage, so that's to be in conjunction with Heritage, with the museum. What we are still working on is signage for the building itself. I want to put signs in in prominent places so that people know where they're going when they get here. So that's something that we're still working on in conjunction with the finalising of the project, and so it's very much on my list, but we don't have signs yet.
All right. Any other questions or discussion points related to? All right. Any other questions or discussion points related to my diary, Councillor Vogt?
Yes, Mayor, thank you for a full report there. But it finishes on the 31st of October, of course, and given that 3 weeks have sort of passed, we're almost into November, are there any current issues that you feel should mention or we should know about?
Very quickly. Very quickly, and I may not get the opportunity to cover this in the airport report, but I sat in on the Rex creditors meeting with Ernst & Young 2 weeks back as our creditor and our voting delegate, and voted for Rex to be sold to the Air Tea company as was proposed under their administration auspices. So that is happening now, which is hopefully a very, very good and very positive outcome for King Island. We look forward to meeting the new owners and managers of Rex Airlines and resetting the relationship with them and growing with them. That's very, very exciting. Other than that, last week I attended LGAT in Hobart, the annual conference in Hobart with the GM and Serena. The three of us it was an honour for us to represent King Island Council last week in Hobart. We attended that convention and a few other sidebars as well, which was excellent. And then this week, obviously, straight back into our council meeting. And given we delayed this meeting a week to deconflict with, and I thank the Deputy Mayor and Deputy General Manager Jess for hosting the Governor Thursday last week. A very, very extensive visit and a very, very successful visit. Myself and the GM weren't able to be here because we were in Hobart. But you covered for us and did a fantastic job, and the community showed itself in an amazing light. And also Wade and Jan did a fantastic job of packaging up the Governor's Day here on the island, from one side of the island to the other, and it's a fantastic production. So thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Any other questions or discussion points related to my diary for last month or things that have happened since? There's never a shortage of those. Any other questions or discussion points related to my diary for last month or things that have happened since? There's never a shortage of those. Just confirming, Deputy Mayor has moved it. Councillor Ira Cook has seconded. We'll go to a vote now to receive the October diary. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Across to item 11.1, the Community and Culture Report for October 2025. The responsible council officer is Taylor Stevens. So Taylor's sitting up. Taylor, great to have you with us. Taylor, at your discretion, if you'd like to highlight anything or plug anything, or we can take your report as read. Up to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can we read a few highlights if that's all right?
Yes, please go ahead.
First, we're pleased to share that we have secured a grant from the National Australia Day Council for this year's Australia Day event, which will be held in Narracoopa, celebrating the life and spirit of the Narracoopa Esplanade. Secondly, the council has been successful in receiving a Haywire grant from the Foundation for Rural and Regional Renewal. This funding will support our upcoming youth leadership and project group, which will begin in early 2026, enabling youth-led council-supported team to deliver a strong calendar of activities for young people over the year ahead. So that's very exciting. And finally, we recently farewelled our two latest artists in residence, Ikebana artist Susan Healy and musician Digby Ayton. It was a pleasure to host these very generous-spirited artists on the island. Both were really active in the community, Susan offering Ikebana demonstrations at Netherby Home in the gallery, and Digby performing at the Brew House and the Senior Citizens Luncheon, and even joining in for a jam session with the ukulele group. You can't be serious. You can't be serious. It's wonderful to see these visiting artists connecting with our community groups and opening up these new experiences. And we extend our thanks to community members for showing them such warmth and hospitality and just sharing so generously your way of life. So thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Taylor. Before we discuss any more on this, we'll get this moved and seconded. Can I have a mover for this report, please? Councillor Healy has moved. Thank you. Deputy. Thank you, Taylor. Before we discuss any more on this, we'll get this moved and seconded. Can I have a mover for this report, please? Councillor Healy has moved. Thank you. Deputy Mayor has seconded. Yeah, they're still with me. Yes, just I'll kick off. $10,000 for Australia Day in Narracoopa next year is fantastic. Well done for getting that grant in, and we have a good track record of being successful with those grants because they know we deliver a fantastic Australia Day here on King Island. And Australia Day at Narracoopa next January is going to be an absolute humdinger. And that reminds me also, as a plug, to remind everyone, all King Islanders, that we want nominations in ASAP for the King Islander of the Year, the King Island Organisation Event of the Year, and the Young King Islander of the Year. We want those awards in as soon as possible, please, so we can announce those on Australia Day next year. That's it from me. Over to councillors for discussion or questions. Councillor Allen.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Just a question in relation to Australia Day. Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Just a question in relation to Australia Day. Do you know if we've made a commitment for 2027, the venue for 2027 and 2028?
No, I don't think we got ahead of ourselves. I remember we broadly discussed that next year's Narracoopa's turn, brilliant, and then after that we'd keep our options open to maybe bring it back to Curry for a year or take it onwards elsewhere. So it's still I guess a work in progress.
Yeah, may I suggest for some consideration to put it on the agenda for the December meeting, please.
Certainly kick around. Certainly kick around some ideas at the workshop next week.
Yep.
Might be a good
And
one to start as well.
I think so. Get a bit of
Because helping to know the location a year in advance helps us for a whole range of planning purposes, and yes, indeed. Just on the Artists in Residence program, yes, we have one more Artist in Residence to visit us, don't we, prior to the end of this calendar year, arriving in a week or two in December. Yeah. Okay, excellent. Okay, excellent. Any other questions or discussion, Deputy Mayor? Okay, excellent. Any other questions or discussion?
Mayor, I'd just like to thank Taylor for entertaining the Governor while she was there. I know she was a bit nervous, but it turns out she knew somebody. They both knew somebody together, so that was good, and I think she enjoyed your visit.
The secret handshake. The secret handshake. You made us look good on the day. You made us look good on the day. No, it was a great team effort. Well done, and again, thanks for hosting the Governor and covering the extensive visit program in the absence of myself and the General. Any other questions then or discussion? Any other questions then or discussion points related to this report? Just confirm it's been moved by Councillor Healy and seconded by the Deputy Mayor. So if there's no other further issues or discussion points, we'll go to a vote to receive the Community Culture Report. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Across to item 12.1, the operations report for October. The responsible council officer is Nanda. Nanda's a late apology for tonight. He's hosting the EPA. We will certainly give him that one. So if mindful of that, the GM or Deputy GM might be able to answer or cover off on specifics in his absence. Is there anything you wanted to mention in advance, GM, or take it as read?
Just take it as read, thank you, Mayor.
All right, somebody please move this report. Councillor Rowan Cook has moved. The Deputy Mayor has seconded. All right, I just note that there's been a recent bevy of work undertaken on Heddles Road. We received a few high priority service requests on that last week or the week before, and the works team have been getting stuck into that, which is excellent, as well as all the others that are reported there on page 21. Any questions or discussions from councillors? Councillor Allen?
Yeah, thanks, mate. Just a couple. One's relates to page 22. I'm just interested to be reminded. Yeah, thanks, mate. Just a couple. One's relates to page 22. I'm just interested to be reminded at some stage, not now necessarily, what we spent the LRCI Phase 4 grant on the Part A projects have been completed. So that's just one for notice. And my second one is page 23, the Narracoopa Jetty works. Is that the works that has been funded through the grant that was received this year?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
Questions 1 and 2?
Yes. Question one on...
Questions 1 and 2?
Okay.
Question one on... Can you just repeat?
Okay, so we received LRCI funding, and it notes Part B, which has got the ceiling projects for the approaches on the bridges, and then it says Part A projects have been completed. This is just one more from my memory. I just can't quite remember what those projects were. So yeah, no biggie. But oh no, this will be fine. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks.
We'll double check that.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll double check that. But I'm almost certain they were reported last month.
It's been in the last few agendas and minutes.
We took stock of them because it was an impressive list of achievements.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to say. I can look them up in the last minutes.
Oh, look, if it's in the last minutes, I'll look it up. Just don't. Yeah, thanks for that. I can read.
Okay.
All right, and as for the Narracoopa Jetty, yes. All right, and as for the Narracoopa Jetty, yes.
Yes, that's
Yes. We're grateful beneficiaries of that grant funding that will go into that structural review of Narracoopa Jetty, and then whatever additional priority works are required after that with the available funding is a great opportunity for King Island to keep the Narracoopa Jetty alive and well as a great fishing and recreational platform that it is. All right, so any other questions then or discussion from councillors for this operations report? It's been moved and seconded, just confirming. All those in favour to receive the operations report for October? Carried unanimously. Over the page, item 13.1, the financial report for the month of October. The responsible officer is Malcolm on screen. We seem to have got the technology sorted out. Malcolm, are you still with us? Can you hear us loud and clear over?
Yes, I can, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
At your discretion to hit any wave tops you'd like to, or plug anything specific you'd like to, or take the report as read.
Just a couple of quick overview points, if I may, Mr. Mayor. You'll see the report. Just a couple of quick overview points, if I may, Mr. Mayor. You'll see the report that generally speaking, the report is been prepared around budget. There is a small cash deficit, but we're expecting that because of the carry forward works from the prior year. Very small component, 74,000 of capital works in a month, mainly with regard to Macquarie. Regarding just a brief commentary on what we refer to as the Big Four, the airport, Macquarie, private works and waste. The airport is the year-to-date vacancy or the deficit is slightly higher than budget, but is expecting to be remain on budget as we progress towards the end of the year. Macquarie is worth note because we did indicate during last month's report we're going to have some production to offset what was, you'll see there is a year-to-date deficit of 77,000. There has been some production of 18,000. However, one of the initiatives we're undertaking in the next couple of months is a revaluation of Macquarie stock. The intent of that is to build in the cost of production of crushing the rock and transportation into the into council's depot. The intent of that is when we get a higher valuation of that stock, we generate that income when it's been transferred out to work on state roads projects or on our own roadworks. The other thing that's worth noting on private works was actually a positive result, but it was mainly due to expenditure savings, so that private works is positive ahead of budget. The other dimension that's probably worth a note is the waste. As we know, the waste operation operates at a stub, so you'll see there in the amended budget column, and I think that's on, there's a summary of the waste. Through Mr. Mayor is on, I'm just looking through pages, is on page 32. 32 for waste management is the $208,000 deficit. As you know, there is a subsidy if we do budget for a subsidy that is the rates currently subsidising the waste operation, which is budgeted for a $218,000 year deficit. That is probably tracking ahead of deficit. There is a small deficit, but it's probably a little ahead of where we expect to be, mainly because of expenditure saving. Although it should be noted that the user charges, which is the tip fees, are slightly down on budget. So this is to do with the usage and the amount of that the community is actually using the landfills to generate those disposal fees. So that sort of that is down on budget, that revenue, but it's offset by lower expenditure, or more than offset, I should say, by lower expenditure. So overall, it's a little bit ahead above it when you net off the income and expenditure. So they're probably the key things that I wanted to highlight. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you, Malcolm. We'll get it moved and seconded, and then we'll deal with it. Would somebody like to move this report? Councillor Rowan Cook has moved. Councillor Ora Cook has seconded. Thank you. Councillor Rowan Cook, if you have any questions or discussion points, it's your discretion.
I've got nothing to bring up.
All right, thank you, Malcolm. We'll get it moved and seconded, and then we'll deal with it. Would somebody like to move this report? Councillor Rowan Cook has moved. Councillor Ora Cook has seconded. Thank you. Councillor Rowan Cook, if you have any questions or discussion points, it's your discretion.
I've got nothing to bring up. No thanks, Mr. Burt. No thanks, Mr. Burt.
Again, and thank you for that, Malcolm. Again, it highlights to us as a small, isolated country council with a very small rate base. Economic headwinds continue. We've got to be very disciplined in our approach, and very disciplined with our expenditure and keeping our costs, etc., under control, in spite of all the challenges that King Island has. And we've got to continue to maximise every opportunity we can get for grants or increases in federal assistance grants or whatever else. Work all those levers as we do, and keep at it. So, all the more reason, as we've discussed in recent months, why we want to continue to grow our population here, our rate base, and to continue to develop the island, and take a balanced approach to being able to increase our revenue base and also increase get our cash reserves back up again. But the highlights, we still have a few highlights. We're extremely low debt as a council. Most other councils in Australia would be very envious of us. We have virtually no debt, and we have a significantly strong asset portfolio that I know we'll be scrutinising more in the future if they're all still of use to us and a benefit to us. Councillor Ora Cook.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Malcolm touched on it. Yes, Mr. Mayor. Malcolm touched on it, but it's a bit hard in hearing, so I'll just bring it up again. Regarding user charges for the waste, a couple of months ago I asked why, if anyone could explain why we've had a couple of months where we'd been down 10,000 and then the last 2 months we've been down 7,000 on projected income. The question that I asked 2 months ago was, is this because of poor planning, which I doubt, or is it because people are dumping stuff illegally, or maybe is it something we're doing right, like sorting waste out a bit better? Can we nail it down to what is actually happening?
Sorry, thanks, Councillor Ora. You finished with the question?
Yeah.
Sorry, thanks, Councillor Ora. Finished with the question? Yeah. Thank you. Through to Malcolm. Did you hear that, Malcolm? You were able to hear that okay?
Yes, I could. Thank you, through that question. And so, as the numbers that suggest, yes, well, the income is down. It's comparable to the overall budget. So it's a question of what's a realistic, allocation for disposal fees when we're relying on the community to actually use the facility. It's about, right, so I think there's only two drivers, of course, in terms of that revenue, is the extent that people are using the facility to dispose of waste, and then the rates and charges. And remember, there was a modest increase to the rates and charges compared to the rate from the prior year. The budget was set at 399,000. That was based on last year, and based on was anticipated. further investigation, we need to take it on notice. Is this as a result of some potentially illegal dumping? The records just show that we are down on where we expect to be in terms of those disposal fees. So in terms of, I suppose, the reason why people aren't using the facility compared to what we anticipated, we probably need to take and any impact of potentially of illegal dumping as a trade-off for not using the landfill facility. We need to probably take on, we expect we need to take on notice, Mr Mayor.
Yeah, thanks. I think just probably give Councillor Oren a chance to ask a follow-on question in a second, but we all know. Yeah, thanks. I think just probably give Councillor Oren a chance to ask a follow-on question in a second, but we all know anecdotally, and maybe now the evidence, the data's starting to trickle through, is that we had a noticeable winter lull this year. Visitation was down, throughput was down, commercial waste and everything was down. So maybe this is just finally that winter lull trickling through in our numbers, and we're seeing it, below previous years. Again, that's anecdotally what we think it is. Maybe we'll be proven right or not, but sooner or later our hunch is going to show up in a lot of these numbers, and maybe that's waste fees starting to come through now.
Yes, Mayor. I realise that if it is illegal dumping or something different, we need to get onto it now, because if the trend continues like it's gone 4 months this year already, where we've had that same trend, so seasonal maybe, yes, I agree, it could be seasonal, but one would think that it's starting to pick up now.
Thanks. I welcome our waste subject matter expert, David Cheller, to give us some more technical briefing on that. Thank you, David. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Around waste.
Yeah, through the GM. So there is a significant change between the end of last financial year and the start of this financial year in the way we recorded the income. So the budgeted 399 figure included both the Charles Street income and the commercial waste collection charges in one code. So we separated that for the start of this financial year and now record the commercial waste charges in Charles Street separately. So now it accurately reflects the Charles Street income per year, which is, for my last read, I think it was about the $50,000 mark. We've got recorded, I think, possibly 100. So we might have to check whether that is.
133.
Yeah, that's the budgeted to year to date, and then the actual I think is 100. But either way, it sort of is. It's now been split between commercial waste charges and Charles Street the disposal fees. So there is no actual. The total bucket is still the same. It's just that we've, separated into its actual income streams.
Sorry, Councillor, just before you, Councillor Bowden, were you next in line for a question, sir? Did you? Sorry, Councillor, just before you, Councillor Bowden, were you next in line for a question, sir? Did you have a question?
No, I think it's been answered.
Councillor, are you happy with that?
Yeah. So now we're recording it different. So the commercial doesn't show up as in user charges.
I think the commercial is its waste charges. The 100. So there's. I suppose we get our rate payments, which cover the residential collection. Then you get your commercial,
which is in waste charges. So it's included in that. It's not included in the user charges.
I think the waste charges.
Are you referencing a particular chart, financial table, or one of the paragraphs? What page, Councillor Cook?
Page 32 with the
32.
waste management.
We'll go to that.
Yeah, I think so. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So.
Thank you.
All right. So, Councillor.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I do understand one of the measure of waste collection is the amount of revenue. The other measure is quantities. Could you, if you got the data on the comparison of quantities year to year?
We've summarised it until I think end of last month, and that remained steady. There's a variation every month in the type of material that's deposited. So we had, I think, 1 month more clean fill compared to other materials, but averaging out over the month, it was pretty. The last, I think I did the last 12 months, it was fairly consistent. There is a slight drop, usually over the winter months, but so it usually averages between 40 to 60 tonnes. I think it was. I'd have to double check the figures, but yeah.
And a year-to-year comparison? Did we have accurate data? Have we measured it the same way 2 or 3 years in a row, so we've got that comparative data?
Yeah, we have what's called the Mandalay system that records all the waste data. It has slightly changed over the last 2 years. So it initially came in, I think, in 22, 23. and then some of the categories have been expanded, so we can certainly break it into the year-to-year comparison if that's something council would like to look at.
I'm just making assumption if we had accurate year-to-year data, then so long as we didn't do massive discounts of the waste charges, then that the trend should also be reflected in revenue. So quantity should be a direct linear relationship to what is called revenue.
That's correct.
Yep.
That's correct. Yeah. The only challenge with that is that the revenue was recorded
Yep.
together in
Yeah.
something else, so
Yeah.
we can't directly compare. But from this year onwards, we should be
and the
recording
reason
it.
for my
Actually.
question line and the reason for my question line of that is that the quantities may well be an indicator of whether the rubbish is being dumped legally or illegally. So if there's a market increase, so if we suddenly jacked up the waste charges 50 to 100%, and then we suddenly had a drop off in the quantities, then we start to have something to investigate.
Through the Mayor. I think that's a very good question, and maybe something we can look into our future reports is to provide some of that data in terms of the weights and what's going through our waste. And I think that might answer a lot of the questions. Exactly what Councillor Ian said is that we can provide a report that shows the trends, and if there is a drop and all of a sudden that's aligning with our regulatory complaints in terms of rubbish that's been dumping, we know that there's issues, and it might show us any other issues that are occurring. So I don't want to put more work onto staff, but I do think it might help answer some of the questions that are being asked today.
All right, just as regards debtors, the dog amnesty has a few more days to run up until the 1st of December. Lots of new registrations and lots of re-registrations. Lots of King Islanders have come forward and done the right thing by council over the last month and a bit, and we thank them for that. And just remind anyone out there who still hasn't re-registered their dog or hasn't registered their dog to start with, we ask you to come forward in this amnesty period and to do that and help us help you. So there's a couple of days remaining on the dog amnesty, and then it closes. So just a reminder on that as well. Are there any questions or discussion points related to the financial tables? Anything else related to the financial tables, pages 29 to 35? DM, anything else from you? All right, so just confirming it's been moved and seconded. The Cooks, Captain. All right, so just confirming it's been moved and seconded. The Cooks, Captain, Councillor Rowan moved, Councillor Ira seconded. So we'll now go forward and vote on receipt of the financial report for the month of October. All those in favour to receive the report? Carried unanimously. Across to page 36. Page 36 is the airport report for October. The responsible officer is the airport manager, Chris Newton, who can't be with us tonight. So again, the GM will stand in. GM, at your discretion to hit anything off.
Thank you, Mayor. I will take it as read. Just one highlight, noting that the total movements for October were at 706, so significant increase from the month before, and a slight increase from October 2024. But as we all know, there was the offshore operations and the helicopter services that were operating very successfully, I must add, for the 2-week period in October.
Thank you. Right, we'll get this moved and seconded and then deal with it. Thank you. Right, we'll get this moved and seconded and then deal with it. Mover for this item. Deputy Mayor has moved, thank you, and Councillor Healy has seconded. Deputy Mayor, anything you wish to start off with? Councillor Allen. Councillor Allen.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I've got just a question related to the out-of-hours access for the toilet. Is there an estimated time of arrival of that project, ETA?
Through your Mayor, can pass that over to the Deputy GM.
It's not in fog and holding.
It is. It's on my desk to finalise the conditions of use for the people that are going to be able to have access to a bonded key. So
this golf season. This golf season.
Sorry.
This golf season.
This golf season.
Fantastic.
Councillor Allen, I'll have it done.
excited.
I will make it a priority.
Oh, thanks for that.
Send help.
Yeah. They won't have to cross their legs any longer, or we behind the RFDS shed. Yeah, right.
And just as a follow-up to that and acknowledging the Beach Energy additional flights,
Yes.
it's interesting to note that RPT flights for the month with about 380, and charter private aircraft flights was about 320. Again, acknowledging that the Beach Energy has increased that, it's indicating that we are getting a lot greater number of private flights, which is an interesting trend. It would be.
Yes, it appears to be trending very, very well, and we want a big rebound after a winter lull. We definitely want a big rebound with aircraft movement and visitation throughput. That's great. But certainly these helicopter movements are helping that, and they consume lots of fuel as well, which keeps the fuel fresh at the airport. As I mentioned before, Rex will soon be under new ownership. We look forward to resetting our working relationship with the new owners and managers of Rex, and then we want to grow with them. We want to get them back to at least 3 services a day, ideally like we used to have up until COVID, and we haven't had since. So that's certainly what we'll be aiming. We know Rex can be profitable here and all operators can be profitable here. We want to help them achieve that, and we want to increase capacity and hopefully in the process create better connections and better fare pricing for all concerned. So we'll definitely be working on that front. The airport team have done a great job. We've lost an ARO, one of our airport staff at the moment, that we are currently attempting to recruit and replace, especially as we head into our busiest months of the year at the airport. And I again remind you all, as most if not all of you know, that certainly up until COVID, King Island for many days of the week was the second busiest airport in Tasmania consistently. So maybe where we're tracking at the moment and future growth, maybe we might find ourselves the second busiest airport in Tasmania again soon. And if that's the case, that's great. We want our airport to be a profitable asset for us, so we can reinvest those profits into continually improvement of the facility and prepare it for bigger aircraft in the future and more throughput, improve the complex. And so hopefully that's where we're headed. We're not without our challenges, and the airport runways and taxiways and everything are being technically inspected at the moment by an expert I was introduced to last week, and they're busy doing their thing at the moment. So we'll soon get a very, very good report card on the state of our runways, taxiways and everything else, and therefore what our priorities will be for maintenance, for resealing and future replacement, investments big and small, and hopefully we'll have that soon as well. Any other questions or discussion? Councillor Bowden?
Yes, thanks, Mr Mayor. I was very interested to hear the comments of the contribution that private flying is making, not necessarily private flying in the sense, but more in the sense of not regular public transport flying, bringing in its effectiveness and increasing the visitation rate here. And I would like to see the airport manager, unfortunately not here, I realise, but I would like to see him address the issue of just how we charge the visiting aircraft. I think we charge them way too much. I think it should be simplified, have a simple fixed charge for single engine and twin engine, not so much as it used to be related to the weight of the aircraft or something else, but something that's clear and obvious. And secondly, I think when they get here, they need to tie their aircraft down. Now, in the past, we had recognised tie-down points, which were solid concrete anchors with a ring on top where you could use ropes to attach, one for the tail, one for each wing. And they're fairly essential in our climate, which can be subject to high-speed winds without much notice. So I would like to see the airport manager develop a plan for where these aircraft can be tied down and a less punitive charging regime, because currently it's not a single charge. You charge so much a day or over a period, which is directly contrary to what we want to achieve. We want people to spend more time here on the island. Now, a lot of private aircraft owners, it may surprise you to know, are not wealthy people. They are hobbyists. They put together groups amongst a club or something to visit King Island for an annual flyaway or things of that kind. And it's worth attracting them, because if they come, they quite often bring people that would be prepared, they're retirees quite often, would be prepared to stay for a longer time. And they're the tourists you make money from, the ones that are not just here and gone tomorrow, but stay on and use our facilities, be it hotels, motels, B&Bs or whatever, bus tours, and indeed our things like the museum and King Island Walks and the various other tourist-oriented facilities. I think it's a market that could be quite easily encouraged and developed without major cost. And I'd like to see that happen. And the second thing that I would like to see the council focus more directly on is the fact that we are subsidising airport operations from rates to the tune of $500,000 or thereabouts annually, which is simply unaffordable on this small isolated population. And in my view, it may not be shared by other councillors, but I think that Department of Transport and the Mayor's initiative with trying to get more regular use of our facility out here, which offers high winds, changeable weathers. It's an excellent training airport, more used by the forces, Army, Air Force, Navy. Yes, they have an Air Force too. And, would add to our income, particularly if they could make a capital grant to get whatever facilities they would like to see in here. There are very few airports left with the old-fashioned NDBs. I think ours is still going, which is just a simple radio pumping out a signal, and you can turn on your dial on your plane and a needle will point to where it is, provided there aren't too many thunderstorms around and the pilot knows what he's doing. But, that's what we've got, that's what we should use. I thought that was an excellent initiative. Of course, we must do something about this huge subsidy that we're providing on the ratepayers. It's just not bearable, I believe. Thanks very much for listening, Mr.
Thanks, Councillor Bowden. Look, yeah, you raised some very pertinent issues. We've got headwinds with our airport complex. Most councils in Australia don't own and operate airports, and they're probably lucky for it, but we do and we have to, and it's our most critical asset. Ideally, we want it to make an income, and hopefully in the fullness of time it will make an income, but in the meantime, you're right, we are forced to subsidise it internally. As far as our fee structure of the airport is concerned, I think it's pretty fair and pretty reasonable. Excluding airlines and RPT, we have everything from Cessnas to Gulfstreams come and visit us regularly, and so our fees are scalable for that reason. We meet their requirements operationally. Our team does a great job to meet all their operational requirements. They do a brilliant job there. You're right, we're trying to get the Air Force to fly here more regularly from Canberra and from East Sale, because again, they'd be great growth partners with us, increase airport throughput, we get landing fees, they'd love to get out here and have a leg stretch, they can get fuel here, they can do some really good training here to make it worth their while for all those good reasons. So we think that's a growth opportunity for us. And as mentioned before, we want to continue to grow with our airlines. We want to continue to grow with Rex, Sharp, King Island Airlines, Southern Airlines, all of them into the future. Yeah, we've got our challenges, but we're making headway. And whilst at the moment, it's not ideal to have an airport that's having to be subsidised by ratepayers, but our entire council wouldn't exist without the federal assistance grants because we have a proportionately small rate base. So it's an argument we need to be careful using here because of our peculiar circumstances, and all the more reason why we need to grow our rate base and we need to get our airport complex profitable again to pay for itself. Gian?
Through the Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Bowden. I agree with everything you said. One of the work pieces that we're looking at is to have a strategic review of the airport and its operations. Looking at the revenue, how it's gathered, and if there are better ways. So the airport manager does have this on his work plan. Unfortunately, we are doing the compliance type issues first, so compliance and safety must come first. So there's a lot of work being done around that at the airport at the moment, and as we mentioned earlier, even doing the runway testing at the moment to ensure that that's how much life we have left in that asset as well. So we're going through a lot of a lot of actions at the airport to understand the condition of it. It's not just a runway, it is where they taxi and where they are parking. There will be some work done around the airport management plan, so we're looking at not tweaking it, but updating it. It won't be a whole new airport master management plan. There will be an updated version of that as well, so we will look at some of the things that you've brought to our attention, but also looking at the whole complex as well. We just don't have the resources and the time and probably the budget for all of that at the moment, but certainly on our radar to work through. The issue is that 500,000 is quite a big shortfall, so someone else has to pick up that cost, and we don't want to put all the costs on the airlines and scare them away as well. So there's a balancing act. How much should the ratepayer subsidise? Ideally nothing. We'd love to get external funding to cover the shortfall, but we've got to look at ways we can do this better. I do think there are better ways of doing it, as does the airport manager. It's just trying to work through that process. So yeah, very good points, but we're just not quite there in terms of doing that work at the moment.
All right, in the interest of time and moving onwards, any other questions or discussions or points related to the airport report? Just confirming that it's been moved by Deputy Mayor has moved it, Councillor Healy seconded it. There's no further questions or discussion points on the airport report. We'll go to vote to receive this report. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Over the page to item 15.1, the council workshops held. We've only had one workshop over the past month on the 4th of November, mostly pending business for this meeting. GM, anything to add?
No, take it as read, thank you.
Okay. All right, so if councillors are happy, we'll move straight in and receive this report. Have a mover and a seconder. Councillor Ira Cook has moved. A seconder. Councillor Rowan Cook has seconded. No questions, no further discussion or questions relating to this? All right, we'll kick it straight through. All those in favour to receive the workshop report? Carried unanimously. Across to, and we're on page 40 in the gallery, if you've, or those listening to the recording, if you've lost us, we're on page 40. Item 15.2, the information report for October. The responsible officer is the General Manager. GM, anything to tip us off before we wade into it?
No.
All right, we'll get a mover and a seconder for the report. Councillor Rowan Cook has moved. Let's get Leah catch up with us. Must be the longest one. So Councillor Rowan Cook moved. A seconder. Councillor Ira Cook first in there, seconded. All right, so we'll go through this section by section as required. Councillor Rowan, at your discretion, if there's anything you want to tee off on.
Nothing of notice really, Mr. Mayor, except I am just wondering if it's allowed to be disclosed. We got one customer complaint, which seems a bit unusual. Yeah. Compliment. Ah, there you go. Well, I haven't got my glasses on.
What page is that? The service requests on page 41.
Yep.
Page 41.
Yeah, 41. Sorry.
Just you're asking for what
Yeah,
is that?
yeah,
item?
yeah. Well,
If
then
it
may I
disclosed?
rephrase the question to? Can we talk about what the compliment is?
Okay, through you, GM, if we can.
Good question. I'd like to know the answer to that as well. Certainly good to receive compliments from the public.
Yeah, so it was someone who wrote to council to say thank you to the works team for the work that they were doing out and about in town particularly. And asked that to go through. That was passed on through to Nanda and to the team. Just to let them know that they're all doing a good job. We love getting those ones. We don't get them all that often, but it is always really nice when the team gets that recognition, because they do a power of work out there, and we're very proud of them.
And again, we have a full works complement for the first time in a long time. We're well aware we've got a big backlog of work to get stuck into this summer. We've started already, so that's happening. It's always nice to receive a compliment. And again, just remind all King Island constituents and ratepayers that if you've got an issue or a serious concern, like we've had with Heddles Road in the recent weeks, get a service request into us, especially with evidence, like current photographs of the condition or diagrams or anything else that might assist illustrating the urgency of the problem to our council and to our works team, so we can assign a priority to it and a category to it and get it actioned. So get those service requests in, and the typical number of service requests per month is usually about 20. So 13 is a lower number than the typical monthly average. And the works team have also cleared the backlog of service requests, which is good. But we know there are some out there that should be reported but aren't being reported. So again, if we can't cover every corner of the island every minute of every day, we're going to miss a lot of things. So please, if you can, get the service requests into us with the evidence we need to understand the nature of the job and then to get on with it. All right, we'll move on through the various sections. I guess that's service requests covered. Maybe head into the actions list, which is our usual favourite, from page 44 onwards. Any questions or updates councillors would like? Councillor Allen, actions list?
Can you guess what I'm going to ask about?
And Memorial Park?
You got it ready. The never-ending story.
Consistency.
Movie. Are we inching closer to the Memorial Park conclusion?
Through the GM to you.
The answer is yes, we are inching closer. We have the executed agreement. I did mention to the Mayor this morning that we have received a survey instruction, so that we probably won't hear much more now for the next couple of months, just to give you a heads up, Councillor Allen. But things are in train. There is no further action for us to take at this time. We are waiting for other people to do their bits, which they will be in conjunction with us, but looking to the beginning of next year for the survey.
I'm going to be proactive because it's easy to criticise people in offices for their slow work or their slow process, but I intend to write this up as a case study for the government to learn about how their red tape and their wheels of government just grind extraordinarily slowly, because the promise for the grant came 3 elections ago.
Wow.
And I reckon half the people are now no longer in state parliament when that grant was given to us. So I'm going to write it up as a case study for the government to just realise that it is wasting an extraordinary amount of money of people's time. So I'll just rest my case.
Yes, take the receipt of Crown land, state Crown land or land from the state that we're very grateful recipients of. I hasten to add, is fairly glacial. It's taken a long, long time. And you're right, in the meantime, during the time that's taken, even though it's well-intentioned, we've lost the initiative with our works and with the grant funding, etc., and or come close to it. So,
yeah, I pitched it to, when I was teaching, I pitched it to the kids. Oh, look here, we've got a grant to do this. Those kids have left grade 12 now that I took down to the park. They're out of school. They're in uni or they're working full-time jobs. So that's going to be the opening sentence of my case study.
And this saga, long story short, for those in the gallery and those watching the recording, is that Memorial Park, because of the proximity of the police station and a few other areas, part of it was Crown land, but we want that whole park area to become council-owned land so that we can develop it and we can pour the resources in that we've got allocated for it. But obviously we can't build council stuff on someone else's land. So we need to tidy up the titles and the ownership of it, and it's been glacial, but it's happening. And again, we're grateful recipients of this Crown land from the state that the whole community will benefit from. You're right, just take it on.
And I do feel so sorry for you, Jess, inheriting this
That's
project.
okay. It's been a good exercise in a way, but yes, the grant funding, all of which we're very, very grateful for, and we will be doing the project, but the upgrades there, but having grant funding for something that didn't belong to council added some complexity to it, getting the ownership, and yeah, I think there were five agencies involved at one point, and then getting untitled Crown land to figure out where it should go and then get it all sorted out. So it's been a very long process, and obviously I've only come in for the last, 12 months of it, I suppose. But yeah, we are nearly there.
All right, moving on. In the interest of time, any other questions related to the actions list, Councillor Healy?
Just 2 very quick ones. Page 53, just doing a thank you to the King Island Sleep Apnea Support Group and Senior SITS. It says in progress, it's happening, I presume, or it's done.
We thanked them at the council meeting. I think I did write to them, otherwise I will write to them, but getting the machine is in progress.
Fabulous, beautiful. And my other very quick one was regarding the volunteer ambulance. Again, their status on those is in progress as negotiations and waiting for responses in regard to interim amenities. That's still we are still waiting advice from ambulance officers here.
So in terms of
their responses
the
to
Curdo
the
building.
interim,
So I'm still waiting for the finalisation of the building work at that location, and then I'll go back and follow up with them.
Fabulous.
But yeah.
Lovely.
And we're cautiously optimistic that the DA for the new ambulance station is progressing. There was a few information gaps that needed to be closed off as far as the design, the town water and town sewage, etc., involving Taswater and others. That's happening at the moment. Hopefully that will be completed shortly, and we'll move forward with that consideration for the approval of that. Whether it is done under delegation or whether it comes to us as a planning authority will be confirmed in the time ahead. Any other questions or discussions related to actions list? All right, so it's been moved and seconded. Moved by the Cooks, Councillor Rowan Cook and Councillor Ira Cook. We'll go through now and vote to receive the information report for October. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Across to item 15.2, page 55, for those in the gallery, it's the recreation plan. The responsible council officer is the DGM, Jess Boys. Jess is here. It's recently been workshopped. Jess, at your discretion to hit any wave tops you want. We'll take it as read.
Largely taken as read, thank you, Mayor. I guess I would just like to highlight the work again of the Parks and Recreation Working Group, which is a working group of council. That group of councillors has done a lot of work in going through the recommendations of the 2019 Recreation Plan and coming up with some really good context around that. So being able to put that together into this kind of a format that we have a bit of a plan to move forward with is, I would just like to say thank you to them. And other than that, I'm happy to take as read or take questions as needed.
Okay, we'll move it and second it, and then we'll deal with it. Councillor Allen, you're happy to move it? Yes. Thank you. Deputy Mayor has seconded. Councillor Allen, your discretion to...
Yeah, if I could just talk briefly, and I'm aware of the time. Folks, this is, for the Parks and Recreation Working Group, this is part 2 of a project that's been going on for a few years. Part 1 was when we did a revamp of the terms of reference, and I know that sounds a little bit bland, but it was basically trying to establish a good system that we go through that when we plan to do works on all our parks and recreation areas around King Island. So it means we've got one system that we can go through, and I think it's going to make it easier for the council staff, but it's also going to make it easier for the community to make sure that ideas, and I just hear Audrey with suggestions about subdividing paddocks off and getting stuff there, to make sure those ideas get really looked into in depth and they're prioritised against everything, and then stuff doesn't get lost as we have staff changeovers. So we've revamped that. So that was part 1 of the project, and we ticked that off a few months ago. Part 2 has been this bit. We've gone through this 2018, was it, Jess? 2019 Recreation Plan, and we've tried. And Jess has written this report that's highlighted the things that have been done by the council and within the community on that. But also we've narrowed it down to a list of stuff that we want to. Hopefully, the councillors in a moment will vote and endorse this, as these are the priorities that we'll focus on. And some are easy ones that we've looked at developing just what's it called, the guide of facilities that we've worked on, clubs and stuff like that. So it's well known amount to community what we have here. Yeah, I saw your email, made a start. So there's all various other bits and pieces. Ones that to look at having a planting master plan. So when we look at our recreation areas and streets and parks and things, then we've got a plan and we look at what sort of plants we put around there. So these are ideas that came from the recreation plan back in 2019. Another one there that I highlight is, and it sort of, it really highlights that councils work best when we work as teams and not in silos. So the idea was to integrate what the parks and recreation people do, and Vernon chairs the roads and bridges group, to make sure that when we design footpaths and trails, they actually join up and they're all integrated. And an example of what we've done simply to make a footpath that goes round into the Lighthouse Street Park. So we connect recreation park areas with areas where people come. So we've got connections there. So part of this is to actually formalise it. We go through that process. And we've highlighted that we've got a pretty meagre budget. So it means that when we spend that little bit of money, we spend it really wisely. The one that we do highlight, and this was the hardest one than when the Parks and Recreation Group went down, is we had to look at the priorities for all the recreation facilities. And the one that we narrowed down that was probably the pressing need was to do some work on the Wilf Stellmaker building, which is just next to the netball courts and the tennis courts down there. And considering the numbers of people involved with that, we thought that was of the things which are the highest priorities. You know, I know it'd be nice to have an indoor stadium like Hobart's getting down at Grassy or something for a cricket game, but we've got to really narrow it down to some things. So that's in a nutshell, but this is a conclusion of probably 3 years' work to narrow it down to the list. But the thing that I wish to highlight, that we narrow down this list, but the process that we decided on before is when new ideas come, then they go into the mix, and there's always the chance that something of greater priority and greater need comes, and then we've now got a process that we can go through and give it that same objective analysis when it happens. So, Council, I just do endorse this piece of work that's been probably 3 years in the making to get it.
Thank you, Councillor Allen. I know I speak on behalf of the whole council team to commend the reinvigoration of our Parks and Rec Working Group and the work they've done. The list of what's been achieved on page 56, well, got to give ourselves some credit as a small council. You know, we've really achieved some amazing things in the past two and a half years, and we're just getting started. And yes, you're right. If we get onto the wheel maker next and a few other things, we will really be taking our community to the next level. So it's fantastic work, and I certainly support it. Any other contributions from councillors? Anything else to add? GM, anything from you? Jess, anything from you?
The only other thing I would like to add is when you're talking about that list of, I guess, successes that we've had, when the Governor was over last week, I would just, I guess, to get on the record as saying they were overwhelmed by King Island. They could not believe the level of the facilities that we have. They said that every single location they went exceeded their expectations. They weren't expecting King Island to be as amazing as it is. They weren't expecting us to have the level of facilities and services that we have available to our community. So they were, I was quite proud of the island. I took them around on quite a tour. It was a very, very long day. But they, for the information of the council and the councillors, and also for the community and for the people that we visited that day, and for the other facilities that they did see and some that they didn't get to see, they were completely overwhelmed by the level of things, of facilities and services that we have available on King Island, and we're very, very supportive and encouraging of everything we're achieving here, punching, like you always say, Mayor, well above our weight.
Right, thank you, well said.
I just endorse that Ian's done a good job putting the Parks and Rec ahead, well, driving us, I think, and
yes,
just picking it up after the last.
Yeah, Councillor Allen, yourself, Deputy Mayor, and Councillor Layla, who's not here. You're the three stalwarts, councillor stalwarts on this committee, aren't you? And keep up the good work. Thank you. All right, so it's been moved and seconded. We'll go to vote to receive the recommendations on page 59. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Over the page to, where are we? Item 15.3, the Community Assistance Program. On page 60, the responsible officer is Leah. This is Council's donation for the Christmas decorations of Main Street, Curry this year, to bring that back this year. Leah, anything to...
No, I guess just to say that this is under our contingency fund, so it has been signed off by the Mayor and the General Manager. They've already got the funds and they're already looking at our lovely Christmas decorations, and hopefully we'll see those up soon.
I'll just move and second the motion, then we'll just say a couple more things about it. Who'd like to move the motion? Councillor Allen, thank you. Councillor Cook has seconded. Councillor Allen, did you want to say anything first?
Oh, no, I just... Well, firstly, fully support the idea of having a contingency fund when these things come up in the last minute, and you can support these things so it doesn't get bogged down in red tape. So I fully support the idea of having a contingency to get these things up and going, and also, you know, we've had fantastic Christmas decorations in the past that lift the township, so I think this is definitely a project of note worth supporting.
Thank you, and I'll certainly acknowledge, obviously Council will fund hopefully most of it with this allocation. The Chamber of Commerce and the Curdo, who have taken back this initiative, well done to them. But I know they'll be ably supported by Hydro Tas with their cherry pickers and everything else as they usually do, and ourselves as a council, we do plenty of those kinds of jobs as well to assist them. So between a lot of us, we'll tidy up Main Street for Christmas, hopefully in time for the Friday Christmas markets, which are scheduled for Friday week, aren't they, the 5th of December? That'd be great. So, and just a reminder that each financial year, the council allocates $30,000 for these community assistance grants at a maximum helping of $2,500. We've only allocated so far about $8,000 of the $30,000 for this financial year. So community groups out there that have a worthy cause or want a worthy contribution under this grant scheme, apply to us before you do it. You can't apply afterwards or retrospectively. That's important to note. Apply to us for it, and if you meet our criteria, we'll be as generous as we can be as a council. But get your requests in sooner rather than later, because as we get later in the financial year, underspends, we're likely to cross level to another area of need. So bear that in mind.
Mr Mayor, the Chamber of Commerce is calling for volunteers to help them too, so if they get in touch with Curdo, they'll be looking for anyone to help.
Okay.
I'm there.
All right. Moved and seconded. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Over to page 68. 68 is item 15.4, the council meeting rescheduling, slight rescheduling for December. The responsible council officer is Leah. We are combining our annual general meeting requirement with our ordinary council meeting and possibly our closed council meeting and shifting it to Monday, the 15th of December next month. And then we'll go into Christmas recess after that, essentially. So that meets all our requirements. Leah, anything else to add?
No, I think you've covered it. Thank you.
Okay, can we get this moved and seconded? Councillor Ira Cook has moved. A seconder. Councillor Bowden has seconded. Councillor Ira, if you anything you wanted to. Yeah. So thank you. So yes, we'll combine all of our meeting requirements and move into Monday, the 15th of December. We'll go into a Christmas recess after that. That meets our AGM requirement. Our draft financial year 24-25 annual report is out now for community feedback, and then we'll tidy that up and we'll look to pass that on our AGM that'll run first on that day, Monday the 15th. And I'll be away on a leave of absence next month, so the Deputy Mayor will chair those meetings, and I thank the Deputy Mayor for covering for me next month whilst I'm away. Anything else to add from any councillors? Any other? Okay, nothing from you. You're happy? All right, so we've moved and seconded. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Right, there being no further ordinary council business, the ordinary meeting is adjourned. I thank the public for attending in the hub tonight, and the next council meeting will be Monday the 15th of December at 4 p.m, back in the council chambers. Thank you.